come with me to the Newcastle United 26-27 fan kit launch event here on Dean Street. So we're here at Newcastle United's 2026-27 fan kit launch at a pop-up store on Dean Street. And, well, in fairness, it is only 4:10 and the event started 10 minutes ago. It's very quiet though. There's been about no more than 5 people come in, including myself. I am told there was an event last night, to be fair, which was for selected people, and that was really busy, but doesn't seem to have hit well with the fans, does it? This new kit. Now I know this event's on until 8 o'clock tonight, so it might get a bit more busy as people finish work, but it's really empty at the moment. And I can't say I'm a huge fan of the kit, to be fair, but each to their own. I was intrigued about this whole thing, this whole sort of Newcastle, Adidas, and this Signals thing. That's what this has been dubbed as in terms of blending music, football, culture, fashion, whatever it may be. It's very modern, very sort of moving with the times in terms of what football wants to do. And I suppose that's what a lot of elite clubs are doing, this type of thing. Whether I'm a huge fan of it, that's another matter. Okay, so just come out of the place now. When I left, there was no one in there. I mean, as I say, it might get busier later on. It is on till 8 o'clock, that event, but I was the only person in at that point. Thoughts? I mean, obviously, I don't like the kit, personally. We don't know what Sunderland and Middlesbrough's are going to be looking like for next season yet. They haven't been launched. Newcastle's has. I'm not a fan of it. I think you can try new things, but I think that's just, they're not stripes, they're just lines, if anything. The whole barcode, I mean, I wrote my piece on it not that long ago and did my video about what I thought about it, and it just wasn't very good, to be honest. But that's it. In terms of the event itself, very much seems like Newcastle trying to create this demographic of, as I say, fashion, culture, football, music, etc., bringing that all together. And whether that's a good thing, I'm not sure. I mean, I get why, but because, you know, in some regard, it could be seen as quite cool. But I suppose if you're going to do it for any kit, that's probably the kit you do it. But then I just think the kit itself is not drawn up a lot of positive reactions online, and that event, is that what Newcastle fans want, to be honest? Something like that, I don't know. I mean, seemingly just from the lack of people that came for the kit launch the other day and for this, seemingly would suggest not at the moment, at least. I just don't know. It's very much a sign of a modern football club, and that's fair enough. You know, you've got to find ways to adapt and become fresh and stay relevant, etc. But I don't know. It was just an interesting phenomenon and an interesting event. I'm not sure it's quite caught on. I'm not sure, you know, whether Newcastle fans would want that type of thing. As I say, I don't know, I could be wrong. But as I say, there was not a lot of people there at all. So is that the type of thing that Newcastle supporters, what they want, what they're looking for when a new kit's been launched, or just what the club want to do, what they want the club to do in general? Interesting though, interesting indeed, that this is the direction that the football club is moving in at the moment, in terms of how they launch things, the types of events they're putting on for supporters. Obviously it shows the direction the club is wanting to go in. I think, you know, in terms of getting worldwide traction, global appeal, etc. But whether Newcastle fans from the area, from the region actually like that, I don't know. As I said, I just don't think the kit's gone down well. That probably hasn't helped things, but it's just an interesting situation about what Newcastle United is becoming as a football club. And I did a piece, obviously, at the start of the week about what direction they need to go in, sort of on the pitch and in the boardroom, and of course, with the fan experience. And this is obviously slightly tied into the fan experience side of things. I mean, I perhaps was advocating for more things to be a bit more traditional in that sense, whereas this is very much removed from that. So I'm not entirely sure what to make of it in terms of what Newcastle want as a club, but we shall see. I'm on my way home now, and there's a few thoughts I wanted to impart on the event that I've just been to there in terms of what it does suggest, because I sort of hinted on that when I was stood outside on Dean Street, in terms of what it hints at, in terms of the direction. And I've had a few more thoughts as I've gotten in the car, so I thought I should probably impart them and speak about them. I think, from what I know, there was an event the night before for fashion people, influencer type people, from what I could see, at least from who was there on social media, and I think that's what they're trying to do, trying to sell, like, especially a kit like that that's divided opinion in terms of whether you like it or not. But just like moves like that in general, by having an event like that for influencers, fashion people, they're trying to appeal to a very certain demographic within the football sphere. And I get why they're doing it, because it's sort of brand exposure via influencers, via in fashion as well, you know, and fair enough, in the modern game you need those revenue streams, you need that sort of modern way of creating content and opening up avenues to get money and etc, you know what I mean, PSR, SCR works, all of that. But now it's come to this sort of fan version of it the next day, and it's basically empty now. As I say, I've left and it's 5:30, and it's on till 8 o'clock tonight. But at the same time, you've also got the World Cup starting tonight as well, so probably not a great day to do it, in all honesty, because you know, for the first couple of hours people are still at work from say 5 till 4, 5, 6ish, and then after that they'll all be going home to watch the World Cup, the first match, Mexico, South Africa. But even then, if it wasn't that, I just don't think an event like that with DJs every hour, and obviously the kit itself not having really landed well with supporters, but that's by the by, but like an event like that, as I say, with, you know, you can go and get a free Red Bull or a plastic bottle of Carlin, but that type of cultural event I don't think resonates with a lot of Newcastle supporters, perhaps, who are more traditional match going fans. Now, that's not to generalise and say all Newcastle fans who go to the match are going to be like that, but say it's my view at least that it's not going to resonate with, say, like your average season ticket holder, if that makes sense, who's perhaps been going to the match for 30, 40 years. I don't think that's what they want. I think that, you know, they just want to go to the club shop on St James's Park and buy it, and we can see by the lack of queues when it first came out on Wednesday how poorly it's been received by them. So I think what they're doing is clearly it's a marketing employ to try and get a different niche and different type of audience for it, but it's not being received well from the fans in terms of queuing up on the morning of, and then it's not being received too well by the lack of people in this event. You could argue perhaps it wasn't brilliantly promoted, given the fact that it was only announced last night on social media. But I just don't think it's hitting with what a lot of match going support. And I mentioned this in a recent piece that I did, like, you've got to try and appeal more to the matchday fans as well, because you don't want to alienate them as much as, yes, you've got to try and have this big sort of brand exposure, global reach, etc, and appeal to different audiences, and that's fair enough, but at the same time don't alienate your core. And I suppose you could argue that, okay, if you don't want to go to that event, that's fine, just going back to the club shop, okay, fair enough, do that. But in which case then, who is that event appealing to? Because when as I say, I got to 5:30 and
you'd be lucky in that hour or so that I was around the area, around the venue, if 10 people went in. From what I saw, at least. I was the first in the queue, and there was only one other man behind me when it opened at 4. And I think when I was in for the first part, there was maybe 2 or 3 people came in. And when I walked past it again to go back to my car, I went for a little wander, and then I came past it again, and it was just the people who were like running the event who were still in there. I couldn't see anyone who I hadn't already seen the first time. So it's not really hitting, in my opinion at least. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching this impromptu vlog on my channel. Didn't really expect to be making this one, but here we are. It has been made because I thought this would be an interesting thing to go and see how it was received by supporters, and the answer, at least from what I saw, is not very well. As I say, it might pick up in the evening, but at the same time it's competing with the World Cup, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't pick up too much. But anyway, thank you all for watching. See you next time. Not sure when the next time it will be, with no obviously Premier League or Championship football on, but I will try to keep doing these vlogs throughout the summer until, of course, things get back underway with pre-season in mid-July. But thank you, and I'll speak to you then. See you next time.